Have you ever thought, why do I suck at fantasy football? Welcome. This is the Commissioner Fantasy Football Podcast.
And welcome to the Commissioner Fantasy Football Podcast with your host, Eric. Week 5 is upon us. Week 4 and week 3 and week 2 and week 1 has passed. If you're out there and you're 0-4 or 1-3, I'm 1-3 in a few leagues. I know a few guys that I play in some leagues that are 0-4. Look, you don't give up. You never give up in fantasy. Even if you're 0-5, 0-6, one thing I would advise not to give up is just not fun when somebody gives up. But if you have a good team and your team is actually doing well, but you've been losing, because that happens a lot in fantasy football. You score a lot of points, the other team just scores a little more points than you, and you tend to get frustrated as a 1-3 team or an 0-4 team now. Doesn't matter as long as you have a good team. Now, if you don't have a good team and you're struggling with that issue, try to make some trades. Try to give up your best guy. Try to get 2 people. I usually don't advise on that, but sometimes you got to look at your team and say, hey, I'm throwing up my hands. Like everything that I pre-planned. Hopefully you listen to some of the advice I was giving, but a lot of people just don't, and that's okay. But look, there's waiver wires are still available. There's people on the waiver wires you should be targeting, especially like David Montgomery's down. Joe Mixon might not play. There's a lot of issues going on that just grab those backups, put them on your bench and see what happens. If one of these guys doesn't play, then it might be a good thing. So I'm going to get into some of that. Again, I'm here to go over that, but also to give you some advice on who to start, who to be confident in starting, and then who to be anxious about. Or I don't know if you want, the whole question is like, I don't know if I should start them. And then the people that you should just not start no matter what. Just not okay to start. Stay away. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. All right, so let's get into, first we're going to get into the first game, which is going to be Thursday night, and this should be like the one, Dallas and Tampa Bay. People getting excited for that game. I think this one is a good game to be excited for. You have the Rams who are 3-1 who lost on Sunday. I have no clue what happened with them because Cardinals, even though they're a good team, their defense isn't that great, and just the Rams showed up. Just that bottom line there. It was frustrating watching that game, especially if you bet on the Rams to cover, as I did. I thought the Rams would definitely handle that game, but they did not. And so that's a bit frustrating. But they're 3-1. They're still a good team. Matthew Stafford has found his home. So again, Matthew Stafford is an automatic start. If you have him, plug him in. This should be a better matchup. I thought that was a good matchup on Sunday, but still worked out for Stafford. I think he didn't break your week or anything. He didn't bomb your week. I know I started him in one league, and he did okay. So Stafford, Cooper Kupp had an off game, which threw me off watching that game. There was one catch he could have made. I'm not going to go back and dissect that game too much, but Cooper Kupp, he's a must start. Robert Woods, I know he got the touchdown. PPR, I would trust him a lot more, like full point PPR. And then Higbee's dealing with an injury, but Tyler Higbee's involved. So if tight ends are just one of the most frustrating positions in fantasy football sometimes, because Kelsey had the worst week ever. But look, Higbee, it could be a good start because there's not a lot of tight ends that you're just comfortable with. So if you have Higbee and you have him, plug him in and hope for the best. Cross your fingers. And with the running game, for me, I stay away from the Rams running game. Sonny Michel, Henderson was back. Not sure what to do with them. That's my perspective on these 2 running backs. If one of them is out, I'm comfortable starting the other. Sonny Michel is out, I'm comfortable starting Henderson. But when both of them are playing, it seems like McVay is using both. So, and one of them is probably going to do better than the other, and we just don't know, and that's fantasy football, and that's gambling for you. For Seattle Seahawks, it's the most easiest team to kind of dive in, and you start Russell Wilson. He's a top 10 sometimes top five quarterback. I think on Sunday he's struggling. I was playing against him in one league. I'm like, yeah, he's struggling. And then all of a sudden, the end of the third quarter, he's back. So it was frustrating for me, but that's Russell Wilson. You just don't bench him. He's a top starter. You always start him, plug him in. Don't worry about him, even the matchup. This is a tougher matchup, but this Rams defense showed to be that they could get exposed. So you start Carson, you start DK Metcalf, and you start Lockett, because these are guys who can Lockett, especially, even DK Metcalf at this point, they can win you weeks. They can come in and get you 2 touchdowns, get you over 100 yards with 2 touchdowns. Those are big weeks for players, so you cannot sit these types of players. Now, one thing I checked on this game was the weather. Looks like I'm going to double check again, but it looked like might be some rain, but it might be clear. So one thing I would advise, since the weather's starting to change, fall is here, October is here, everything's starting to change. Look for those rainy games, because even the best of teams have trouble sometimes in the rain. Thursday should be good. So I forgot Sunday, they have some thunderstorms, but Thursday should be a decent non-rainy night, so we should have a good offensive games. Looks like the over and under in this one's 54.5. I always bet the over. I hate betting under. That's one. I don't know if you guys are the same. I hate betting under, unless it's like a sure shot, crappy teams playing, bad weather. That's when I go the under. And the Rams are favored to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle won this one off. Maybe that line will go up. I don't know. All right, game number 2. This is Sunday morning. We have England early 7:30 Mountain Time, my time, and then 6:30 Pacific Time game. We got the Jets at the Falcons. I haven't checked the weather for this one, but so look, the Jets have actually won the game, so it's great for Zach Wilson. For the Jets, the only thing Corey Davis is one of those starts. He had a great game. I know Crowder is back, and he used to be a PPR machine. So if you're struggling in PPR, like full point PPR, and you need a good guy to get off the waivers if he's not already gone, Crowder is a guy to go and get. So that's the only ones I would trust. Zach Wilson, 2 quarterback leagues, you can start him in. But Corey Davis, for me, he's just talent. Plus, there's a foundation already with the quarterback. So those are the starts. For the Falcons, Matt Ryan, only in 2 quarterback leagues. I wouldn't start him in single quarterback leagues. And then what do you do with Mr. Patterson, Cordell Patterson? I don't know what to do, because he went off and they're utilizing him. And it sucks for Mike Davis owners like me. But I have to start Mike Davis probably because it's a deep league. I don't have a lot of options. He was one of the guys I have for a while. It sucks, but for me, Patterson is just a guy you can start if you're in the pinch. But this is an early game. It's up to you. Like this one, I'm not going to give advice on. But Calvin Ridley, you always start him. He's not giving you big weeks, and it's frustrating. Maybe because Patterson is there. Same thing with Kyle Pitts. Like if you have Kyle Pitts, who are you going to start over Kyle Pitts? Are you going to go get somebody off the waivers? Somebody like Mo Alley Cox, who got 2 touchdowns. Yeah, how do we predict that? You can't predict that some tight ends will go off. I would stick. You drafted Kyle Pitts in the highest. I would stick with Kyle Pitts because he can always have a good week. Like talent will prevail eventually. And he's getting targets. That's the early Sunday morning game. Remember, if you have those players in those games, please make sure you pay attention and you're starting them. All right, so those morning slates, I'm gonna try to get through all the morning slate games. We have Green Bay Packers at Cincinnati. Interesting how this division is playing the NFC West division. Cincinnati, the Steelers are playing the Packers. It's odd, and it rarely happens. Hasn't happened in a long time. But the Packers are at the Bengals. I like the Bengals, not to win the game, but I like the Bengals in general. I like Joe Burrow. I like Chase. I like T. Higgins. I know he's out, but monitor his injury. Tyler Boyd, PPR machine. Now, Joe Mixon, you got to watch Joe Mixon during this time. There's some backups, but would you trust any of them? Giovanni Bernard's not there anymore. Like, if I'm a Joe Mixon owner, I'm not gonna go and try to get the backup. I'm not gonna do it. It's a little bit frustrating to do that, especially that they're gonna be throwing the ball. So now that Alexander, the best cornerback for the Packers, I'm gonna monitor that injury, because if he's gone, oh my goodness. I mean, Joe Burrow's going to lit it up with all the wide receivers, especially with Boyd, and also with Chase. Uzama, the tight end who caught 2 touchdowns. How perfect was that? I don't know. Like, how do you start or not start? That's if you're a gambler, right? So if you want to gamble and start him, he might be a decent start. They might be throwing the ball. This should be, I think, a highly scoring game. Packers are down on their defense. Bengals have a decent defense, but it's not going to stop the Packers. Packers have a lot of weapons. Joe Burrow, for me, is a start, even if Alexander is there. Boyd, like I said, and I mentioned Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon plays, you start him. And hopefully he plays. That's the goal, but monitor that injury. And then look for backups, because I'll go over some of them. So Samaje Perine is the backup there. You want to go with that? You want to trust Mr. Perine against a decent Packers run D? They're not that great, but they can maybe focus on the run. I don't know. I wouldn't trust him. So some guys who are out there on the waivers, I think Damien Williams is one I'll get to when I get to the Chicago game. So I'm not going to talk about that, but he's dealing with an injury. So the Bears, I'll mention this around. The Bears, Montgomery will be out, even though they're not announcing anything until, I think I'm recording this Tuesday, so Wednesday. But he's injured as well. So there's another guy to look. There's a rookie there that people should be paying attention to. So for the Bengals, Samaje Perine's a backup, and also another guy to look at if you can't get him is Chris Evans. Evans has some pass catching talent. I remember reviewing because Giovanni Bernard left. So that might be a guy you pick up, but are you going to start them? And if Mixon going to be out a few weeks, if he was out for the season, okay. So that's what I'm not really trusting that area. For the Bears, Khalil Herbert, the rookie that they drafted, looks like he might be the guy up. So if people have picked up Damien Williams and Khalil Herbert is still on waivers, go get that guy, because he might be the actual starter. So that's a little insider. All right, Packers, look, Rodgers is a good start. Not a best start, but I don't mind starting Rodgers. Devonta Adams, Aaron Jones. Now, same thing with the Robert Tonyan, same thing with the tight end. You can try to start him. I'm not going to go there. So those are some decent starts for there. All right, Lions at the Vikings, and also for Cincinnati. Wanted to make sure I kind of I looked up the weather for this one too. So Cincinnati looks like it should be clear skies or at least cloudy, but no rain Sunday. So not a bad game. Then we have the next game, Lions at the Vikings. It's an indoor game, so we don't worry about weather there. Lions are 0-4. Vikings are 1-3. Vikings shouldn't be 1-3, but they are. Vikings should be easily win this game. But for the Lions, Swift, Jamal Williams is I might be trading for Jamal Williams because I need some kind of running back. I lost David Montgomery, and Myles Gaskin I don't know where he is. I'm going to talk about that game coming up, but I don't know where he went. It's like, what are you guys doing? He's a talented running back, and all of a sudden he's just not playing? Get out of here, Miami. Miami Dolphins are the worst. God, but frustration. So for the Lions, Hawkinson's a good start, and Swift. And Jamal Williams, I actually looked there. He did great with the Packers. I miss him with the Packers, but he can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's a hard runner. He's a great player. He's a fun guy to watch. He's just a fun guy. All right, Vikings, Dalvin Cook probably ruined your week. He's dealing with an injury, but if he plays, you start him. You can also sell Dalvin Cook, especially against the Lions. Come on, look at what David Montgomery did. Cousins is a good start. Jefferson, Thielen. I'm not going to start anybody else. So everybody else on the Vikings, I'm not, because they might hit, they might not hit. I'm not going to go with that. All right, Broncos at the Steelers. Oh, boy. So you got a Broncos team who had 3 great weeks. 3-0. Broncos are great. They play crappy teams. Now they played a good team. Now Bridgewater got injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out. So for the Broncos, everybody kind of just, you got to bring them a notch down. And it sucks because Javonte Williams, I have him in the league. I have to start him. Melvin Gordon, these guys, if you have to start, you have to start. But for the Broncos, they're playing at the Steelers. Steelers, their defense is not bad. So it's a tough game for the Broncos if you have Broncos, if you own Sutton, if you own Patrick, Noah Fant. It sucks. So sucks for the Broncos, for their players, because once Bridgewater is gone, you could tell the difference in play. For the Steelers, oh boy, again, Broncos coming in with a good defense, but you're going to have to start Deontay Johnson, volume. Juju Smith, oh my gosh, I'm going to throw up in my mouth. If Claypool is back, I wouldn't start him unless you needed a big play. But these are Broncos defense that's actually pretty good. So Deontay Smith is a start, and Najee Harris is a good start. That's it. I'm benching Ben in a 2-quarterback league. I'm just going to start Trey Lance and cross my fingers. I have Trey Lance and Winston. So those are my starters. I'm 4-0 in that league. I don't know how. I have solid wide receivers, and that's an interesting league. It's a little different the way we score. All right, Dolphins at the Buccaneers, at the Bucks. Oh, sorry, the Steelers. So in Pittsburgh weather, looks like the weather in Pittsburgh, I'm going to double check. It should be clear. So should be clear weather, so we're good to go there. Tampa, we have some rain, possible chances of rain, but I don't think it affects it that much in that game. Maybe for the Dolphins it will. So the Dolphins are coming up north to Tampa, Florida, playing the Bucks. Myles Gaskin, I'm gonna try to sit him in every league, especially this is one of the best run defenses. They've been shutting out every running back, and I don't know what Miami's doing. So I'm benching Gaskin. I'm not starting anybody for Miami. Maybe Waddle if I need to, but that's it. Tough game for the Dolphins. For the Bucks, start everybody. Start Mike Evans, start Godwin, start AB, start Brady, and probably their defense. Tampa Bay should have a good defense. All right, Saints at Washington. Washington football team. Saints had a bad loss, but Kamara owners, Alvin Kamara owners. I'm an owner. Yeah. So it's been tough sledding. Washington also, let me go back and check their weather. They play Landover, Maryland. So it looks like there might be chances of rain Sunday. For the Saints, Kamara, you have to start, and that's about it. I'm not starting anybody else against the Washington defense. Winston, I start because it's a 2-quarterback league. But Taysom Hill, man, I think he took away a few touchdowns from Kamara. He could have had a bigger game. It's frustrating, and it sucks, but you start Kamara, everybody else is no-go. For Washington, McLaurin's a good start. Saints defense is good. So McLaurin and Logan Thomas dealing with an injury. Gibson is a start. I think McKissick in PPR might be a start. He's back. McKissick is back to what he does best. He comes and takes away Gibson's production, and he goes at it, man. I love watching McKissick play. All right, we have Eagles at the Panthers. Eagles, this is in Charlotte. Charlotte, weather looks like should be clear Sunday. So Eagles, you start, you got to start Jalen Hurts. You got to start Devonta Smith. Now, Miles Sanders, I don't know, man. You probably have to start him because you have nobody else. But again, Carolina's defense is not bad. So for me, the only Eagle start is Jalen Hurts. Well, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is involved. So those are the 3 great starts. For the Panthers, like, I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and then start their quarterback, my USC Sam Darnold quarterback that actually looks good and runs the ball, and Christian McCaffrey's not there. So, and like, I'm not going to start any running backs. I'm done starting Panthers running backs. Even their rookie, he didn't look great. But DJ Moore, I said DJ Moore is the guy for Sam Darnold. He's the guy, the go-to guy. So these are the only 2 guys I'm going to start. I'm not going to trust it. Like, Anderson might have a big play, but these are guys who are good to go. So I like that. I like DJ Moore. I drafted him in a few years and in a few leagues, and it's paying off because the year I drafted him a year ago, he didn't do that well. But it looks like Sam Darnold found the guy. DJ Moore is good. Look, if you guys want to watch a good wide receiver, go watch DJ Moore. His route running, everything about him. He should be a top caliber wide receiver, but he's not because he had a down year. And hopefully this kind of propels him next year to be a 2nd, 3rd round pick. All right, we got Titans at the Jaguars. Hopefully Titans get their they get their wide receivers back, Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. So monitor those injuries. Like, Henry, you start. My God, he was quiet all day Sunday, but he had like 147 yards. Yeah, Tannehill. If Tannehill's a good start, especially if the wide receivers are back. For the Jaguars, James Robinson's a good start. And then, oh man, I had a bad call on starting Marvin Jones. Oh my gosh, he lost me last week, but this is not a bad place to start him. And then Shenault, it's like DJ Chark should be out. He had a bad injury, but Shenault and Marvin Jones are decent starts. Shenault and PPR, you might trust him. I've seen him drop in a few leagues, but dude, that guy's good. That guy's good. All right, for the last game, Patriots at the Texans. You could start Brandon Cooks on the Texans, and that's it, and hope and cross your fingers for volume. Patriots defense is good. So with Patriots, Mac Jones, I'm not going to start in this game. Only Myers I'm going to start. I keep mispronouncing his name, Myers. He's just a PPR machine. Looks like they look for him. And if you want to throw up a tight end like Henry or Jonnu Smith, go ahead. They might score a touchdown. And Damian Williams looks like he's a good play here. So if you have Damian Williams, start. It's not a bad start here. Texans defense is not bad. This is indoor. Damian Williams catching passes. Look, James White is gone, and I saw him catching a few passes. Damian Williams it's a good start for me. And that's it. So hopefully these starts help. I'll do the afternoon games, Sunday night games, and the Monday night game later. Hopefully these kind of help you out. But going back, again, if you're 0-4, 1-3, make moves, make roster moves. Go get backup players. Go look at the waiver wires, people who you might need to pick up now just in case. Put them on your bench. Like, hold players on your bench that might have potential to go off. Like a Tony Pollard needs to be owned everywhere because Zeke injury and it's done. Like, this guy's going to go off. So good luck. Hopefully week 5 is a lot better for you and that you don't stay 1-3 or 0-4. Until next time, take care and best of luck.
Dude, you better not be sleeping after that podcast. That was an amazing message. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Commissioner. Also subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Any comments, questions, concerns, send them to the Instagram page, The Commissioner, your fantasy football guide.